Hey, what's up everybody, Fake here and welcome back to a new video. Today we'll be going through episode like 89 or something of Slime Rancher. Before we get into it, if you guys wouldn't mind leaving a like on the video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. All three of those things are greatly appreciated, and all three of those things greatly support my channel and make me happy. So if you do all three of those things, that would be fantastic. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, we have arrived on the slime Man, I'm gonna be real. Before starting this recording, I fell asleep for 2 hours, went and listened to music for like another hour or two, and then came in here and recorded. But I started watching an ASMR video beforehand. So like, I started recording this video a little bit later than I wanted. So yeah, that's fun. So hopefully I can just speedrun the shit I'm doing in this episode. Yeah, and then I would like to be able to shave my face after I finish this recording, because I've been needing to shave for a minute now. And I wanted to shave yesterday, but then my sister was taking a bath as I was like going over there to go in the bathroom to go shave and shit. I knocked on the door and everything too, and she answered. I could have knocked again to make sure, but like, then again, considering my roommate heard the knocking I was doing on the bathroom door and thought it was his door I was knocking on, I didn't want to have to deal with him like yelling at me and shit by him knocking. Not because I'm scared of him, because he annoys the hell out of me. Speaking of people who annoy the hell out of me, let's talk about this new band director we got. So this year we ended up getting like 2 or 3 different new people to help out with our high school band. One of them is a college student that we will be losing after the semester is over. She will be graduating, I think, and then moving on to like better things and shit. Probably to become a band director at a different school or something. Now, one of them, I think, is just like a junior high band director that was just around for the high school marching season. So yeah, I don't even have to deal with her anyways. And then the last one is the band director that I want to say has like no experience. Because I really don't know how much experience this guy has at being a band director. It's kind of annoying having him as our band director though, because like ever since marching season ended and concert season started, like he's been the main band director that's been like directing us for our pieces. Which is kind of annoying because we're working on the Christmas concert right now, so we got 3 pieces. 2 of them are boring as shit. Like I fucking hate 2 of the pieces. But the other one is really fun. I'll talk about that more in depth when I do my video about it. Like when I do my video talking about the Christmas concert, I will go more in depth about what kind of pieces we got. But like, 2 of the pieces I fucking hated playing. Like, one of them was just straight up boring, and the other one was just slow as shit. Cause like, my part was too easy on one, like where I played like barely any fucking notes, and the other one was like a It wasn't a hard piece. It was just another piece where I didn't play for most of it. So it was hella boring playing those two pieces. Which is funny because our college student band director, she like right before Thanksgiving break, like I think like the entire week before Thanksgiving break, and then like a little bit of the week before that last. We just did all of that time working on one piece. And it wasn't even the fun piece, it was one of the fucking boring pieces. But I'm gonna go back to talking about the fucking band director that I'm kind of annoyed at. I'm not even gonna front. I don't know how much experience he has at being a band director. I don't think he has any. I don't really know where he was or what he was doing before coming to our school. But I know that now that he is at our school, it's kind of annoying as hell having to deal with him. Because, like, first off, he was a massive cocksucker when it came to the rules for marching season. Like, anytime, because I was on loading crew as well, at front ensemble, so, like, as soon as we got done with, marching and everything, we would get off the field, and then me and the rest of loading crew, or, like, me and the rest of front ensemble would go to the trailer to get our instruments over there, and then I would stay around with the rest of loading crew and get all of our instruments and shit loaded. There would be times, though, where, like, our black box our black box person, the black box would not be ready, so we'd have to like spend some time waiting for our black box person to get the black box ready to load. And so we would just be sitting there waiting on him. And then this motherfucker, this band director guy, would just walk up and see us over there and like assume we're just like purposely sitting there waiting on them to like skip the fucking game. As much as we love skipping shit, I'm not gonna purposely skip the football game because of that. Like, I'm not gonna use that as an excuse. You know what I mean? Like, making sure that shit's loaded is part of my fucking job as member loading crew. And holy shit. Where was I at with that whole band director conversation? Like, I just feel like he's really condescending towards us. Like, I feel like he doesn't... I think he believes that we're a lot worse of a band than we actually are. Like, I don't think he... I think he just doesn't think we know how to play our fucking instruments. I mean, he spent half the fucking class yesterday tuning half the section. Like, I know that the clarinet section he tuned for their like C's or some shit. Then he did a similar thing for the, I want to say French horns, or was it trumpet? But he did that for one of them. And that shit pissed me off because on top of them having to spend half the class tuning, you also were using that entire day to practice the boring piece. Like, that shit is annoying as hell. Just sitting there watching this motherfucker spend half the fucking class tuning instruments. That, let's be real here, they get plenty of time at the beginning of class to tune their instruments, so if they don't have their instruments tuned, that's on them. We shouldn't have to waste fucking band class time so then they can fucking get their instruments tuned when they should have already had that done. And then the annoying part is that certain members of certain sections love to like talk shit about percussionists for fucking up their parts. It's like, motherfucker, how would you play a C in tune and then come talk to me? Motherfucker, like, don't talk to me. Don't come over here talking shit about me when we have to spend half the class tuning your instrument. Motherfucker, we gotta spend half the class sitting on our asses because you wanna sit here and tune your instrument. You wanna just sit here and talk all fucking day when you're given time to actually tune your instrument. And then when it actually comes around to where you actually need to have your instrument already tuned and everything, instead we gotta waste time waiting for you in the rest of your section to tune your fucking instrument to make sure your C's are placed correctly. Hey motherfucker, don't come over here and talk shit about our section when you can't do that correctly. Like, come on. You've been playing those instruments for how long? Motherfuckers still can't play C's correctly. God damn. Motherfuckers still don't know how to put that work in. Make sure they shit's in tune. Ooh, shit. And then when we're not having to tune instruments in the band, we're having to sit there and like, oh my god, man. Like, I'll mess up on a part one time. Not even my fault, too. Like today. Today, for example, we were practicing the fun key, and I have a snare part. So like, there's like 4 measures in a row that's just like a fermata. So it's just like, it's a note that gets held for a certain amount of time. So it's like measure 56, 57, 58, and 59. And then measure 60 is when we stop doing the fermata. But then like, the thing is that messed me up is that, our bass drum player is supposed to have a roll, like a bass drum roll, at measure 58. The problem was, our bass drum player is so fucking stupid that he played that roll a measure late. And then I got confused because I was like, this motherfucker was supposed to play this bass drum roll at measure 58, and he played it at measure 59. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll just wait. And then I saw our band director start going 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of doing the fermata holding thing. And I was like, motherfucker. So I just tried playing the part of the measure that I didn't miss. And then he was like, then he looked at our percussion director and was like, hey, can you make sure you know that part? You know how to do it? It's like, motherfucker, I know how to do it. It's not hard to do 3 beats of a snare drum roll and then 4 K1. Motherfucker, it's not my fault I messed up on it. Maybe you should make sure our bass drum player doesn't roll a fucking measure ass late. Make sure his dumb ass actually knows when to do his bass drum rolls, and we won't have a problem. He's the reason why I got fucked up. Because here I was thinking I was a measure early because of our bass drum player, but nah, I was on time and he was a measure late. That shit pisses me off. When someone else messes up their time, it makes me feel like I'm off of time, and then I get yelled at for being out of time because I try to fix my shit to be with the person that's out of time. Like, nah, at this point, I'm just gonna be like, nah, fuck it. I don't give a damn if I'm off time. If we're not together, that's on you. That's not on me. Unless, like, the band director says otherwise, I'm not gonna accept any, I'm not gonna take accountability for me being off time if I'm the one that's in the correct time and someone else isn't. I'm sorry, it's just not gonna happen. If I'm counting the measures correctly, and I know what measure we're on, and the rest of the percussionists don't, it's not my responsibility to make sure they're good. If the band director wants to get mad at, you know, our bass drum player for fucking up his bass drum roll, it's not hard to do a bass drum roll, by the way. Speaking of the bass drum player, holy shit, my boy. Okay, so for the last measure of this piece that I'm talking about, there's a part where he has 4 quarter notes. Bonk, 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 bonk. And then after the 4th quarter note, he's supposed to mute the bass drum. So what our percussion director wants him to do is get on the side of the bass drum after the 4th quarter note and to hold both sides of the fucking bass drum down to make sure that the sound doesn't come down. This motherfucker thinks he needs both mallets to do fucking quarter notes. Bonk, 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 bonk. That is slow enough to where you can still use one mallet and get all 4 of them down and have an easier time muting the thing afterwards. And if you think it's so damn hard, watch me do it first fucking try, dog. Because I can do that shit. Every single percussionist in there can do that shit. Except for him, apparently. So I get it, you autistic, but dog, so am I. Like, you can't use that as a fucking excuse to be fucked up. So then, like, he was told specifically, since since the band directors never told him anything about just using one mallet, I kept saying, like, dog, if you're really having that much trouble holding both mallets and trying to mute the fucking bass drum at the same time, don't use 2 mallets. Use 1. It's not hard to use fucking 1 mallet for fucking quarter notes, dog. Like, that was with 1 hand. You can do 4 quarter notes with 1 mallet. He just pisses me off sometimes because, like, he's so annoying. And anyone that uses autism as a reason to, like, excuse them for that is fucking retarded in their own. Like, this motherfucker's been a percussionist for, what, 4 years now? He's a sophomore. He started in, like, 6th or 7th grade, which means he's been there for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 4 to 5 years as a percussionist already. That's more time than I've been a percussionist. I'm a senior, but I started my percussion stuff my 8th grade year, since I was a French horn player my 6th and 7th grade year, and then I switched to percussion for my 8th grade year. So I was a percussionist my 8th grade year, wasn't in band my freshman year, thanks to how shitty the counselors did at their job for like during COVID. And sophomore year I didn't do marching season. So technically, if you want to get technical about it, I'm only going to be a percussionist for 3 years. Unless you count my sophomore year, because even though I didn't do marching season, I did everything else. So, if you want to include my sophomore year, then that's my 4th year right there. Which means this kid and I have basically had the exact same amount of percussion experience, and yet I'm like 10 times better than him at like everything to do with percussion. It's like, other than synth, he's better than me at synth. That's why he's probably going to be on synth throughout the rest of his high school career. But you know what? I'm done talking about this. I'm going to end the video off here, guys. So if you liked what you saw, please leave a like in the video. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. If you want to check out my other socials, you can go to the back section of the channel or to the description of this video and all my other videos. With that all being said, my name is Fate. This has been episode 89.